Good morning. Welcome to Workforce Skills with John Morse. Another beautiful Monday morning out here in Phoenix, Arizona. I've got a guest today. So I haven't had one on here for a while, and I think it's about time. I was looking for some business owners to put on here. And it's interesting as I put that blast out on Facebook. One of the guys that went through our vocational program years ago, Justin Miller's here with me today. And he said, John, I went through your class. I've got my own company going now. I want to be on your podcast. And I said, well, why the hell not? Let's do it. Let's see what happens. So, Justin, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. It's a new day, just a good day to be here.
It is. It's a great day. So we're going to go backwards a little bit to when me and you first met. It's funny. I've met so many people through the vocational program, and there's a lot of people I don't remember, or people remember that first time when they introduced themselves to me, or we shook hands. And I apologize. There's been 100 guys just like you, but when you first met me, you were in the tile class, I think is where you
I was.
Okay. What was the impression? What were you there? What was that first meeting between me and you?
I mean, all honesty, I was only out of prison for a couple of days at that time, or maybe a week. And I've done this song and dance before, and I've had people come in, oh, I'm successful. I know what you're going through. And it's never, you don't know what I'm going through, but it was something with when you introduced yourself and started talking to the class, and just the way you presented everything was, okay, well, maybe I do need to listen to what you're saying and teaching us. And it was just, you just carried yourself differently than anybody else that tried to, oh, life's going to be good. You just got to work. It was just a different feeling coming from you than it was from the past.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
No, it does. And to explain it to the people out there listening, I think for me coming into New Freedom to teach this class, for me, I wasn't part of the system. I wasn't one of the therapists there. I didn't care about your feelings. I was there to teach you how to get a job and get to work and make some money. That's all that mattered. So you can talk about your feelings and your emotions all day long in your little therapy classes, but I didn't care. And I think that's what kind of resonated with a lot of people because, oh man, this guy doesn't care, but yet he's here and he's not getting paid for this. He's here on his own time trying to help us get jobs. So it must mean something.
Absolutely. From the little bit that we do know from your story and your past, the fact that you did have a successful company before New Freedom, and yet you still chose to take your time out of your busy time and come to show us, not only show us, but teach us. And the thing what gets most of the guys from when you were there was not only did you talk it, but you also walked it. And you said, okay, you're doing good. Here's a job. Mm-hmm. So not only did you tell us that we can get jobs, you gave people jobs.
Yeah.
And you proved it to them. You proved it that you weren't there just to spare time on your spare time for the hell of it.
Yeah.
You were there to actually help these guys out.
So prior to New Freedom, what job did you have? What did you do? I mean, were you always a screw up? I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way.
No, absolutely.
I was an idiot when I was younger. I had to wake up one day and change.
No, all honesty, up until I got out of New Freedom, I was never able to keep a job for more than 6 months, my entire life. And it was because, I would be out there running around, looking a little sucked up, time to get some money in my pocket and go back out. Mm-hmm. But not until I was at New Freedom and realizing I didn't want to live that no more. I wanted to be able to take my wife out to the restaurant whenever she wanted to. I couldn't do that before. I couldn't ever hold a job down. But I never had anybody to teach me the skills to do that until New Freedom. And because of those skills that I've learned, here I am, starting my own company here, and so I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. So you took the tile class and you're not doing tile anymore.
No.
So
No.
what was your first job out of New Freedom, and how did you end up because now you own your own company,
I do.
MJ Pool Service.
MJ Pool Service. Actually, I can't take all the credit. My wife actually is also part owner in the company as well.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, after I left New Freedom, like you said, I was doing the tile. I went to a wholesale warehouse for tile.
Mhm.
And to go back into the classes that you were teaching, one of the things that we were taught was to set goals, and don't let anybody ever get in those ways. And I did that, and I took that serious when I was at New Freedom. So Stone and Tile, I was there for a little bit, and it was a great job, first job out. But I had plans, I had goals. I needed to make more money and do other things. And they weren't just giving it to me. They just wanted to do it. I did the whole song and dance, this company, that company. And then I was sitting in back of my dad's house one day, and a buddy I know who cleans pools shows up and says, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Just looking for another job." Starting to get that mindset like, "Well, fuck, here we go again, getting stuck in that rut."
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Why don't you go clean pools?" And here I am 2 years later, just got my own LLC,
Nice.
you know?
So you're cleaning pools, you're doing your own thing now
Yep.
and doing well at it. What is something from one of the classes that stood out? I mean, you said talking about setting goals, it's because I'm not teaching you how to do a trade.
No.
I'm basically trying to get across to everybody I think what the biggest thing I look back when I was in the classes is I'm teaching common sense. And common sense
Same
isn't
thing.
common anymore. No, not at all. So how do you do this? How do you resonate with somebody that, to get them out there and do it? What's something from the class that stood out that you are utilizing today that you learned in that class?
There's just a lot, just
You're only on time if you're what?
15 minutes early.
Okay, I always said 10 minutes early.
Well, 10 minutes early.
But you're doing 15. That's
Yeah.
even better. Okay.
I show up.
Mm-hmm.
I show up when a customer calls. I don't care if they need a quote in Goodyear.
You're there.
I'm driving to Goodyear to get the quote. Even if I know they're not going to like my quote, I'm still showing up. Because if I don't show it from them, that person that does want my quote isn't going to get it because I'm not going to show it for them.
Yeah.
So I show up for anybody.
Gotcha.
Anybody that calls, I show up. And I show up clean cut. If I'm in the middle of work, I make sure I have at least a decent, better work shirt on. I look presentable at all times. That's one of the things that you talk about is, if I show up to a job site, beat up, holes in my pants, painter's a little different.
Sure.
Because, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But even then, you don't want your guys showing up in short shorts or
Looking
pants
raggedy.
that are, or looking raggedy.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I've taken from that is I show up clean cut every time.
It's funny you say that because I don't know how many times I've repeated this to people that come into one of the vocational classes. I'm going to change the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you dress, the way you carry yourself. And you are not the same person. Walking in my office today, coming in here, you are not walking the same like you did years ago when I first met you. Not even close. You're not even the same person. I mean, it's if I didn't know you, I wouldn't recognize you. I would never guess that you've done time or you've had a rough life or what you've been through. It does not show. You have taken everything and changed. And it's amazing to see you here today and how you look and just it's a good feeling. It's interesting because I've been asked how many times, I don't know how many times, why do you do this and what's in it for you? There is nothing in this for me except trying to make a better place in this world for everybody and to show people that it can be done and you can have something better. I told you earlier, the biggest thing for me, I don't care what happens in these classes. My goal is to save one person. If I can get one person in every single class to end up right where you're at right now, it's a win for me all day long. This is why I do this. You are the reason right now why I do what I do, and I continue doing what I'm doing. That's what it means for me. It's amazing how many people that we both know through the program that they're either locked up again,
Yeah.
they're back on the streets, or dead. That's the reality of it. It's there is the end game to this is one of two ways. Either you're going to be successful and make it, or you're just going to be back in that same old situation you were in and hitting rock bottom again. And I can't begin to tell you how many times I've hit rock bottom,
Yeah.
and every time I hit one, I thought this is the last one. I'm going to pull myself out. No, there's one or two more after that. And it
Yeah.
just continues. It's all mindset. You have to rewire your way of thinking is
Oh,
what it comes down to.
100%. Because if I would have got out of New Freedom and kept that same mindset as, oh, I just have to work part time. I just need enough to pay my bills, or I would have been stuck in that same rut like I was before New Freedom or before I went to prison.
Mhm.
And that's one of the things that, now that you say that stuck in is I did have to train myself, train my brain to look at things completely different anymore. Things that I thought was cool is not so cool anymore. You know, I have bigger goals and look at things a lot differently now. And that wasn't easy. Because when you're stuck in that addiction for so long, it's hard sometimes for individuals to rewire your head. And some types people don't understand what that means,
Yeah.
you know, and it was a daily struggle. I woke up every morning and said, that's not who I am anymore.
Mhm.
That's not part of me.
Yeah.
I don't care about that anymore. Um, and ever since I've done that, you know, I've, I, for the first time, I'm successful,
That's awesome.
and I really am. So,
Yeah. I remember years ago, I actually put myself in detox and went through it. And I remember asking for a pen and paper, and I just started writing the whole time I was in there. And I remember the first week in there, I just kept writing every day. I had pages and pages and just whatever was going through my head, whatever was on my mind. I think I looked at it 6 months after I had left there because I put it somewhere, didn't know where it was. And I found it 6 months later and I started reading this thing. And I'm like, man, my way of thinking was screwed up. You don't realize how messed up your thinking is when you're intoxicated or you're addicted to something. It's amazing the change that you have as you start to rewire your brain the right way and you start thinking sober. Sober thinking is completely different than being intoxicated or addicted to something. And it scared me, some of the stuff I was writing,
yeah,
when I look back and the way I thought and what I thought was normal. Man, my head was messed up. It's in a much, much better place today, even as I continue. The one thing you talked about setting goals, the one thing I would like to put out there for you is every year in my life, I'm trying to make sure I'm more mentally, emotionally, and financially better than I was the year before. If you can continually do that each year, think about where do I want to be next year? And if you at least make $1 more than you did last year, that's better financially. It's just you're continually growing. So continue to grow emotionally, mentally, in your relationship with your wife. You want to be stronger every year. Every year, I want to be better with my wife than I was the year before. So if we can start to look at everything in our lives that way, as we're always trying to continue to get better, it's a win every year for you.
absolutely.
But no, it's exciting to see you today and see where you're at right now in your journey. What else has changed for you over the last few years since you've gotten out of New Freedom? You've got your own business going.
Actually a lot. I need to be involved with my kids more.
Hmm.
Um, you know, but I do want to say though, it hasn't been easy. It's been struggles. Um, the other week, I had to call mom and daddy to help out.
Mhm.
So I don't want anybody out there thinking, oh, if you're not doing drugs and you do this and that, you're gonna be okay. No, that's not the way it goes sometimes. Sometimes even though you feel like everything's going right, you can make that left turn one time. And but it's what you do, get up and just like I said earlier in your office, is I just show up.
Mhm.
No matter what happened yesterday,
Can't
I'm showing up the next day.
you can't stop. You can't quit.
Oh, because that's just gonna lead you back down to the wrong path. You know, um, I've gotten to meet a a lot more successful people because I have that mindset. I'm not that, oh, well, I'm just going to do this and get by. It's no. And other successful people see that on you and they want to be around you. Rather it be just being in the same room or mentoring you or whatnot. And because I've changed my mindset, I've got to be introduced to a lot more successful people
Mhm.
that keep showing me different ways on how to be successful
Yeah.
because I show up.
It's interesting. Success breeds success.
Yes.
You know, you're around successful people, you start become more successful just by being a part of them. You know, if you start hanging around negative people, what's going to happen? You're going to go back down that path. So how do you deal with the situation when here you are running a business? I'm sure you've got friends that are locked up right now or back from the streets, and all of a sudden they call you, they hit you up, they need money, they're trying to
I,
get you to go hang out. How do you deal with that?
I don't do it.
No?
I don't do it. I have a buddy who is locked up right now, and he likes to call me. And he likes to talk to me about what's going on and who's doing that and who's doing that. And I fucking told him the other day, I was like, look, if you want to call me and talk to me about life,
Mhm.
I'll more than happy to pick up your phone calls. I said, I don't care what's going on in there. I don't want to know. I don't care. And he hasn't talked to me since. You know, when I talk to other people that are just now getting clean or sober or whatever, I tell them is I'm a firm believer in I only associate around people that have done the things that I've done, that are doing the things that I'm doing.
Mm.
Because in that way, if I hang out with somebody that's been to prison, done drugs and all that, and they are being successful, and they see me slipping, they can call me on my bullshit, and vice versa, you know. And yeah, I don't know.
No.
I'm a firm believer in I only associate with people that's
Mhm.
doing what I've done and doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. I think that's why I've done so well with everybody working here and the people that have got the program because these are my people. You know,
Absolutely.
that's how I look at it. And even on the days like there was a rough day last week and, you know, I needed a drink. I flat out told my wife, I told Greg in the office, I go, I need a drink. I'm not going to, but that is the moment that I know I'm at my weakest. And if I share that with them, guess who's going to be there helping me stay on the right path?
Yeah.
Those people that I share that with. I know for a fact I'm never going to have a drink again. That's just not who I am anymore. But I recognize the moments when I would have a drink. And that's what helps me stay on the path that I'm on, helps me go in the direction I'm going. And I surround myself with those people. I think that's why, as a company as a whole, we do so well with our employees that come from the same background like yourself, because we're surrounding ourselves with the same people. And the second somebody starts to trip, the second somebody starts to do something wrong and they hit that speed bump, we're calling them out. We're letting them, hey, dude, you're messing up.
Yeah.
You better check yourself. You know, you can't come in here lie to us because we've all lied. We've been there. You can't
Absolutely.
come in here addicted or on something or high because we've all been there. We know what it's like.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because during those moments, and I was that same person that during those moments, I mean, even to my own mother as a grown adult, she would come by here at the office. And there was a time I remember her pulling up and she told me, you need help. No, mom, I'm fine. As I got my cup full of Jack and Coke
Yeah.
at 7 o'clock in the morning. No, mom, there's nothing wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. Everybody can see it. And we think we've got everybody fooled and we don't.
Nobody.
Nobody. I mean, and that's the thing about everybody that works here. We've all seen it and done it.
Yeah.
You're not going to trick us,
Yeah.
you know? So I think for somebody that wants to stay sober and stay accountable, surround yourself with the same people. Like you just said.
Yeah. Like I said, everybody I talk to on a day-to-day basis has been to prison, has done drugs, that either is successful in another business or has their own business
Mhm.
in the pool industry.
Yeah.
And that has been my biggest help and motivation to put where I am today.
Yeah.
You know,
You know, one of my best friends, he owns his own business, but it's an HVAC company. And we would hang out with each other, go play golf once in a while. I learned more just as him being around a business owner to help me grow my business and him as well, listening to me, the struggles we deal with. You know, don't just surround yourself as you're growing your business with just pool companies. find other business owners, other people that you can learn from. It's going to help you grow your business in ways that you wouldn't even dream of. And that's what's helped me the most. There's all these different groups out there. There's painting contractors groups. There's the painters chat room on Facebook, but start to look for other business groups too, to surround yourself with. You'll be amazed at how much you can learn just by broadening your horizons of other business owners. It would be a good thing for you. It would really help you. So keep that in mind as you continue to grow your business. So you're out here in Phoenix, Arizona. You couldn't be in a better place for a pool company because everybody's got a pool out there.
Everybody.
So what is your goal right now as far as growth? You have we don't need to talk about how many pools you're doing or whatever, but you've got a certain size of your business. What does the future look like? I mean, what are you doing to grow your business?
Right now it's all word of mouth.
Okay.
It's all word of mouth. I paid $0 in advertisement.
Mm-hmm.
And my goal for this year is I would like to be at 30 pools by the end of the year.
Okay.
That's very minimal.
Okay.
But for me that works.
Okay.
And that's my goal for this.
That's a good goal to have.
Is if I could be at 30 pools by the end of the year,
mm-hmm.
and then I'll feel like I've done something good this year.
Well, you realize there's a lot of people that watch and listen to this podcast in Phoenix, so you might end up with more than 30 just being on here. So
give me a call.
You might have to hire some help. So
give me a call.
We'll see what happens there. So because I know everybody in Phoenix has a pool, so except for me, but we got a community pool we use. So no, that's good. So besides just cleaning pools, do you do repairs as well?
Yeah. So MJ Pool Service, we do weekly cleaning services and any repairs that might need redone, whether it be to your filters, pumps, lights inside of the pools, anything like that. And anything larger. I have a buddy who is a licensed pool builder that I call and contact with him.
If it's a major situation.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
So there's nothing that I can't get done.
Okay. So you went through New Freedom, you took the tile class. Have you ever done pools prior to this, or you just,
no,
your buddy talked to you?
My buddy
you just ran with it?
Literally, it was just at the right time, at the right time on the right day.
Okay.
He's like, I'll pick you up tomorrow. He's like, come with me for a week, see if you like it. And I fell in love with it, and I haven't looked back since. Almost 2.5 years later.
That's got to be a good feeling where you're at right now.
Oh, it's amazing.
So now you mentioned your wife, and she kind of is partners with you in the business. Were you married prior to going to prison, or did you marry afterwards, or where's that journey come from?
It was done afterwards. The funny thing between me and her was, so she's also been to prison.
Okay.
And before she caught her case, we were dating and she was at my apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And she went to the store to get dinner and called me up and said, hey, I'm not going to make it. As you got picked up. I mean, of course, we were both in the middle of our using.
Mm-hmm.
So she had some warrants. She got picked up, went to prison. And then I did my thing. I got picked up. And she got out 3 weeks after I got out.
Okay.
And we didn't even know. We didn't keep in contact or nothing. And I'm sitting at New Freedom. And I'm scrolling through Facebook, and I see her, and we just picked up where we left off.
That's awesome.
And it's just really cool. It's really cool to watch both of us transform and be where we're at today. We just bought our first house in November.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Like, are you kidding me? Like, do you not know where I was 3 years ago?
Yeah.
I was sitting in a 24-hour lockdown unit in SMU. So now I am a homeowner, like legitimate.
First time in your life?
First time in my life.
It's a good feeling.
Didn't even know it was, excuse my language, fucking possible. But I am. I get to go home to a house that we own every day.
That's awesome.
Is it the biggest house? No. Does it have a backyard? No. But it's mine.
Somewhere, yes.
But it's mine. I own it.
Yes.
And I don't know.
It's a great feeling.
Life is crazy today.
Man, if they could see you now, huh?
Oh man.
Yeah. It can happen. And how many times did you sit in class at New Freedom and we talk about this in the future and what you can get, and you're living proof of it. And I can't begin to tell you how many guys sitting there probably doubting it, thinking, it's not possible. It's not going to happen.
Every last one of us.
Dude, if you just grind, if you just find that beast mode every day and just keep pushing it, you just don't stop. You
No.
can't. The second you stop or the second you go backwards, you're done. You have to keep moving forward. And that's what you've done every second since you've been out, and it hasn't changed once. So
there's a singer who I listen to, and in one of his songs, he talks about there's a reason why the rearview mirror is smaller than your front windshield, because the shit in the past doesn't matter.
mm-hmm.
It's what's going on
Mm-hmm.
forward that matters.
Who's the?
It was Jelly Roll.
Okay, I was thinking. I just went to his concert here recently too. So
Yeah.
oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
You know, and I really latched onto that. And you're right. You know, it doesn't matter what I did in the past.
No.
You know, it's made me who I am.
Mm-hmm.
It's made me think differently.
Yeah.
But it doesn't define who I am.
I am who I am today because of my past.
100%.
And what you just said right there, my past doesn't define me, but it keeps me on the path of where I'm going the right way. You know, you can't forget the past.
No.
It's always going to be there, but you can use that to become somebody different, to know who you don't want to become ever again. You know, I don't want to be the person I was.
No.
I never will be. I'm not going to ever let that happen. That old John, that old behavior, it will never come back ever again, because I'm on the path with you. We're doing the right thing. We're moving forward. And I can't wait to see where you're at in your life. You know, how old are you now?
I'll be 39.
You're 39.
in May.
I just turned 56. So I can't wait till you're 56 and looking at where you're at and how much has changed over those years.
Well, my goal is to be in UFC.
You'll get there. You just keep doing what you're doing. You're going to be the biggest pool company in the city. And then it's a state, and then it's a country. You know, it's funny because people used to ask me, well, John, how big do you want to get with your business? Thought about it for a minute. And I said, you know what? I don't know, but I'll let you know when I get there. I didn't know where there was. Last summer, and I've been in business for quite a few years for myself. Last summer, I actually looked up who the largest painting contractor was in the United States. I didn't know who it was. And they did $350 million in sales last year alone. So now I have a goal. I know how big I want to get. I want to get as big as that guy. And that's the direction I want to go. So you put a goal in front of you and you keep pushing, you keep grinding, you keep going for it. You just don't stop. You can't ever stop. You know, I don't know how many times I've said this in class, you know, the shark has to swim forward. If it stops or goes backwards, it dies. You have to smell blood every single day, and you have to keep going after it no matter what. And don't listen to all the BS out there and all the people that are talking bad about you or putting you down, or they're going to say, oh, Justin's this or Justin's that, because you don't give them the time of day. They don't deserve your time of day anymore. You just don't.
You know,
you and your wife are on a path that no one's going to stop you ever, and you can't let it. And it sounds like you both support each other in what you're doing.
100%.
And I think you mentioned she's kind of starting her own thing now.
So she's also gotten into shirt designs.
Okay.
She just opened up, you know, and it's just super basic right now. Loveland Apparel.
Okay.
And she does graphic design T-shirts.
Okay.
You know, she'll print up designs and cut out designs and put them on shirts and give them to people.
Okay.
And so that's what she's doing right now. You know, she also helps me with the pools and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but we're just trying to optimize every opportunity we can find. You know, because, you know, the opportunities that we took advantage of when we were out there running around, we want to do positive things now.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we can do positive things in legitimate ways, we want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what she's doing. And she loves it. And, you know, but we're a team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she helps me, I help her.
You support each other.
100%. You know, and there's not a day that goes by that I know that I can come home and talk to her about anything that I want.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to be judged or laughed at or looked at. And that's another amazing feeling that somebody could possibly have.
Yeah. And you both come from the same background, so you understand each other more than you can imagine.
Oh, absolutely. And
makes you stronger.
Oh, yeah. You know, like I was saying, you know, she's been to prison. She's done drugs. She's lived the same life that I lived.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know, I think that's what makes us a good team. is we can get more personal in stories and with each other and really know what's going on. Uh, it's good to have somebody next to you that if I'm quiet for 10 minutes longer than usual,
Mhm.
it's, hey, are you good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
She can read you.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, after a long day out there working, coming home to something like that is, you
It's a
can't,
beautiful thing.
a beautiful thing.
Something you never had before.
No.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Justin, I'm really glad that you came on today. This has been a good experience catching up with you, seeing where you're at. I'm really, really proud of you, what you're doing, where you're at. And I can't wait to continue to watch the journey and see where you end up down the road. Just keep growing, keep doing the right thing, and good things will come. There are speed bumps out there. Life is not easy, but I guarantee you your worst day here recently is probably better than your best day being locked up.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, it's night and day. You're free and you're doing your own thing. You're creating your own destiny is what you're doing.
Yeah.
And nobody's doing it for you but you.
Yep.
You're setting the bar where you need to go.
No.
And no one's going to set the bar higher than yourself.
Yep. I never accepted a handout. I've also only accepted handouts.
Nope. That's
period.
awesome. No, that's good. So thanks for coming on today. I
Absolutely
really
appreciate having you.
But if anybody out there, if you're in a situation, you're on the streets, you're in prison, you're going through life, life's going to hit you. There's going to be struggles. There is a place to get help. Justin got the help that he needed and changed his life completely. There is help for you. If you need help and you don't know where to turn, please reach out to us. We will get you in the right direction of where you need to be, and we will get you taken care of. But you have to want it. You have to make the decision to step up and change your life. Because if you don't make that choice, if you're not going to make that change, it's not going to work out. You have to do it for yourself. I couldn't change. Justin couldn't change. We had to decide for ourselves that we wanted something better, and we're doing it for ourselves. But we surround ourselves with people like ourselves now, and we're able to do it. Once again, guys, thanks for joining me on here. Stay hungry.